Um, Hello, my name's Lionel Newman. I'm the owner and starter of Family's Best Foods. And we make a gumbo kit. The gumbo kit is designed to provide homemade gumbo within 1 hour. That's actually quite an achievement because normally gumbo takes 3 hours from scratch. The way we do it is that we've broken the kit into 3 different pouches. The first pouch is going to consist of nothing but vegetables, onions, bell peppers, all dehydrated vegetables. The second pouch is an optional pouch. It's chicken broth, where if in fact you want to be vegan, you wouldn't use this. If you want to be vegan, you just keep the first pouch. The last little pouch is a very spicy, hot red cayenne pepper. Not everyone likes spice, so what we've done is to try to have it so that you can actually pick your spice level yourself versus have someone else come back and do it. So again, use it sparingly, small amounts. I would suggest use at the very end. Have each person spray a little bit, take a little bit on his own. Very spicy. So what do we start with? We're going to be multitasking. Gumbo is typically served with rice. So first thing we start off with doing, we're going to make our rice. Rice is made by we're using actually for potentially 4 to 6 people. So we're using 2 cups of rice. The rice is poured into first water. 1 cup of, I'm using 2 cups of rice. That should be good for 4 to 6 people. And then we pour the rice in, and we do a quick little stir on the rice, and then we cover it. So while our rice is starting, we've actually started to do the whole thing, and we're doing multitasking. Second thing we're doing, we're going to take our pack of vegetables, and we're going to open that up. And it's going to go into 5 cups of water. If in fact you like it to be thicker, you use less water. If you want again to be thinner, you use more water. So we're going to use 5 cups of water. 1, that's 4, that's 5. We want the water to be cold if possible because when you throw this in, this has a powdered roux, and the powdered roux will actually clump if in fact you put it in the hot water. So what do? We stir it, very well. We get that started. So while that's started, we're now going to go and cover it. Right? The rice is covered, both are covered, and we start off doing other things. Right? The very first thing you have to choose what you want as far as your gumbo. This kit allows you to choose either to be all of one protein or all of the other proteins. We like our seafood gumbo, so we're going to use seafood gumbo. So the very first thing we're going to start off with, we're going to choose sausage. You can choose whatever sausage you want. It could be andouille, it could be chicken, it could be beef, it could be smoked, it could be turkey, it could be any sausage you want. We're going to choose a Cajun, style andouille. And we're going to start off with, like I said, for about the 4 to 6 people, we're starting off with 1 whole sausage. So we first open our sausage up. Okay. And we're going to cut it into pieces. 1 piece here, 1 piece there, 1 piece there. So you have 4 sausage pieces. I like to have my sausage into smaller pieces. Therefore, I cut my sausage down the center, down the center, down the center, again down the center. Then place those pieces back together again, and then start slicing them. Okay, using a sharp knife, be careful. And if you were to put this into a cup, right, you're going to come up with approximately probably 2 cups of meat. That's a 2 cup thing, so we're going to pour it into this little cup and keep on going. Now, again, like I said, you dice your meat. The nice thing about this kit is that you don't have to be stirring your gumbo every minute. It actually is designed so that you don't have to baby it to a point that you can do other things. And one of our goals is to, within 1 hour, be able to do everything. Get the kitchen clean, wash your dishes, do everything. That's about 2 cups of meat. So we're starting off approximately around 3 o'clock. We pour our meat in, our sausage in, using 2 cups of sausage. Do a quick stir. And again, we place it back down. Keep your clean. I'm going to actually use a little spoon holder there, right? Our rice, again, I said, and our gumbo should both be on high. We want to get the rice boiling. So far it hasn't started boiling yet, right? And we're going to do a quick little stir. Still not ready. Check our rice. Again, trying to be nice and neat. We're going to go there. So next, you're going to choose, if we're choosing a chicken. I prefer actually to have chicken thighs versus chicken breasts because chicken thighs have a little bit more flavor and juiciness. I generally use somewhere between 2 and 3 chicken thighs. So we're going to take a chicken thigh and we're taking it up for 3. We slice it down the side. Again, using a sharp knife. Right? And we're going to cut it sideways. This comes out again, approximately the same thing, about 2 cups of chicken. And of course, if you don't use enough protein, we have what's called dishwasher gumbo. Dishwasher gumbo is gumbo which doesn't have enough protein and it ends up not having enough flavor. So we then cut it into pieces, put it into our cup. Now, we want to look at the time. So let's take a look at the time. What are we in terms of time right now? We are about 10 minutes into this, and we've actually put our chicken, our beef, in with the gumbo base. We're minutes away from putting our chicken in. And again, we're using about 2 cups of beef. We're using 2 cups of chicken. Now, when using sharp knives, don't rush because we don't want you to cut yourself and hurt yourself. So make sure that you flow, but not to a point that you become and hurt yourself. Right? Now we have 2 cups of chicken. Again, we're going to use a wooden spoon because a wooden spoon allows us to leave it in the pot without having it get hot. We're going to pour in our chicken. That's actually 3 chicken thighs, come out to be about 2 cups. Right? We have it on high and we're stirring it. We want to make sure we stir it so that it doesn't burn at the bottom and it doesn't stick. So if you actually rub the bottom of your pot and it comes out with something on the end of it, it means that you're not stirring enough because it would stick. So as we stir this, we see that we have nothing actually at the bottom of the pot because nothing's sticking, right? It hasn't come to a boil, right? Our rice is getting ready, right? So what we've done the basic pack, the veggie pack. Because we're not being vegan, we're going to add our chicken broth. So we now take our chicken broth. It does have a tear pouch to it, so we like to cut it off as faster. We're going to put our whole chicken broth in there, right? And then we're going to do a stir. Now you do have the option of not using water. For instance, you could choose to use either vegetable broth, a chicken broth, or seafood broth rather than using water or some combination of that, right? but we're using water versus any of those, right? So again, this is designed to make it the way you want it to be. And we start cleaning up by cleaning stuff up as we go. So we're throwing away the things that are not being used, right? So right now, and I said, while we're waiting for this to go, we're gonna go start working on our seafood. But we're gonna also start doing cleanup. So right now, our knife, we're gonna leave because we're gonna use that again. Okay, we're gonna put these, we had for this demo, we had taken our chicken breast and showed you there. We're gonna put these chicken breasts up. We're just gonna set them aside right now because we're gonna use them. We're gonna start with actually our shrimp. So we're gonna get our shrimp. To save time, we've chosen to go with, again, I said, again, shrimp, which is already deveined and peeled. Right? So we're going to go into a bowl. We like to rinse our shrimp. Excess water off. We're going to sit here, pull the tails off, and I like to cut my shrimp because we want more people to be able to have it. So while we're waiting for the gumbo to cook, and you see we're not stirring every few minutes, we're actually taking and making our shrimp, getting it ready. I cut our shrimp in half. We take the tails off because we're not concerned about it actually shrinking during the gumbo process. Again, if you want to leave the tails on, you could do that. They've already been deveined. And this is approximately 40 or 50 shrimp. This is, again, in our bag we're using, as I said, the bag which has peeled deveined shrimp, and these are extra large shrimp. It runs between 20 and 30 shrimp, right? We're going to, you can always put more, so more is better than less. Get rid of our fish, and we're going to continue to go here. If you're using seafood, you have to do seafood in the last 10 to 20 minutes of cooking, because otherwise what happens is your seafood is overcooked. So right now, we're approximately, like I said, 15 minutes into our cooking of the gumbo. And after we get this cut in half, right, we're gonna do a little stir to check and see if the gumbo is actually doing well. What are we looking for? We're looking to find out if in fact there's any sticking at the bottom of the pot. And we want to make sure that we keep stirring it so that the gumbo really maintains a good mixture. Now the option to do this is yours. If you want to have whole shrimp, that's of course up to you. If you want to have more shrimp, that's of course up to you. A lot of people think gumbo has to be a special way. Gumbo really is a soup, and it can be eaten year-round. It's not only for cold weather, it can be eaten year-round, and it's a wholesome meal that everyone should enjoy and make it the way they want to make it. Again, we're going to get rid of our little trash. We're going to leave our little dish right there. Do a quick wash our hands. And what are we going to do? We're going to check our gumbo. Stir. And again, not burning. Nothing sticking at the bottom of the pot. We want to keep our gumbo covered because that way you don't have a lot of evaporation and we lose, right? We also want to see the mixed vegetables should be actually, the dehydrated vegetables should be actually starting to, like I said again, dissolve. So if you cook too fast and do it too fast, these dehydrated vegetables be hard. We want them to be soft, as if we had fresh vegetables. Okay. Next, we choose what other kind of seafood. I like snow crab. Snow crab because snow crab is relatively inexpensive. It's easy to do, and the way I cook and do snow crab, it becomes easy to break and eat. So the first thing we start off with, 2 clusters. 2 clusters of snow crab is going to give us about 2 cups of crab. So first thing we do, we actually break off the legs off the clusters. Okay. So we're using 2 clusters, and we break off the legs. Then again, I use scissors a lot, so then I take the scissors and cut the clusters at least into 2 pieces or more. My wife loves to eat these clusters, and she goes each individual one. The next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna break off the crab into pieces. Break the legs into pieces. Those small pieces, I'm going to leave. The bigger pieces, I'm going to cut to actually make it easier for us to eat them. The little sharp ends, I actually toss those and take those off. Okay. We're breaking up the crab into smaller pieces. What's our time? Our time is 20 minutes. So we want to keep track of our time as we're doing this. So what I do, I take this piece, which has thick crab into it. I'm going to cut it into half. Then I'm going to cut it down the center with the scissors to make it very easy to eat and break this to eat it. Right? The big ones. Again, I'm going to cut them down the center so that they become actually easy to eat. Put them in. Again, the big ones, 2 cuts. Again, a big one, cut down the center. Big one, cut down the center. Those small ones, we're not going to bother with those. We're just cutting them. They're going to give us flavor, but it's a lot of work to actually try to eat these. Again, my wife would be the one who sits there and she would eat those. And she'd break them bit by bit and go through them. Pretty big ones, so we're going to cut it. And we're going to cut it again down the center. Down the center. Big one. Down the center. So as we're approaching right now 30 minutes, we have our crab pretty much, like I said, rinsed off. We have little pieces. These, again, I actually cut them down the center. The big claws. On the end. Those small pieces go into the bowl. And we are ready to do a quick little wash up. We're going to check our gumbo. Our gumbo is now boiling. We're someplace about 25 minutes approaching it. We're going to check and see if in fact there's any sticking at the bottom. No sticking at the bottom still, right? You see the gumbo is boiling. We're going to check our rice. Our rice pretty much at 20-25 minutes is coming pretty well done. We're going to see how it fluffs. It fluffs nicely. The rice is fluffy. There's no water in it. So we're going to turn off the rice. Cover it. We use a fork to fluff it. And now we're going to add in our seafood. We're going to add in the crab first. We're going to stir it. And you see that we're using a 4-quart pot. Right? You see, take a look at it. That everything is actually pretty full. This is a 3-quart pot, and I think that a 3-quart pot might be good depending on how much seafood you're putting in, but a 4-quart pot gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of going with your gumbo. We're almost at the very top with this. Our rice is pretty much like sitting again done. We've turned off the fire. The rice is like cooking. We're waiting for this to go in. So what do we do in the interim? We start cleanup. Everything's pretty much done. Now, you could actually add other seafoods. If you like lump crab or claws or either oysters, you can actually add that to your gumbo. This is really your gumbo. You decide what you want to put into it, and you can put other seafood into it if you choose, right? You can also mix different things if you want. Remember, this is your thing that you do, right? So we're going to start doing cleanup. We start cleaning up and cooking. And this allows us to really stay ahead of the game. By doing our cleanup while everything's going versus waiting to have cleanup at the end. Right? We're approaching 30 minutes. "25 minutes. At 25 minutes, we're actually finish up our cleanup. The scissors are clean. All the cutting boards are clean. Countertop's clean. And we're going to check our gumbo. Now, we're not putting any spice into this because we don't want to have it be too spicy for someone else or too little spice for someone. So we're going to have the spice done at the very end, or either we'll put a very small amount. The pouch has 1 teaspoon of actually cayenne pepper. Again, no sticking at the bottom of the pot. What we're going to do now, we're going to go back and get our scissors. I like to have some scallions with my rice and my gumbo. So I'm going to take some green onions and I'm going to cut with the scissors. Some green onions, chives that we can actually top our gumbo. Okay. So that's done. Okay. Again, we wipe our scissors down, place them back. We're now at close to 30 minutes. Again, if this were gumbo from scratch, it takes 2 to 3 hours to make gumbo from scratch. And we're really almost done with our gumbo. Our seafood is in there, our chicken is in there, the sausage is in there, it's smelling good. There's no sticking at the bottom. Everything looks well dissolved. So, again, the advantage of Family's Best Gumbo Kit, it allows you to do it in a very quick and easy way, and yet gives you the taste of actually homemade gumbo, almost if it were made for 3 hours, but instead it's made between 30 minutes and 60 minutes, right? So we're doing well, right? Our kits are available on our website, Family's Best, right? So again, you make it the way you want to, however you want to make it, this is what you do. I'm going to put it right there so you can take a look at it, right? So we're going to do our cleanup on these. This was just water, put it there. This was just water, we'll put them there. For our rice, I like to do scoops of rice. Gumbo for me and my family consists of the soup and a little rice. There are friends that we have that have more rice than actually gumbo. So again, we're going to use a scoop of gumbo, a scoop of rice for our gumbo. We don't need this anymore because we've actually used this at the very beginning when we wanted to get started. So now, again, it's been someplace around 10 minutes since we placed our crab in. We're doing cleanup, getting rid of all the excess stuff. Trying to put it back in the refrigerator. And we're ready to add. We're at 30 minutes. We're going to add our shrimp. And we're going to turn down our fire from a high. We're adding our shrimp. And again, maybe take a look. Can you see it? Okay. We're going to add our shrimp. We've turned down our fire down to a medium. Right? Our rice is off. Right? We have some chives set aside that we're going to use to garnish our gumbo. We're going to wash. And clean up. Because I know our family likes a little spice, I'm going to take 1/8 of a teaspoon, take the hot pot, and I'm going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of the cayenne pepper. So we're going to take 1/8 of a teaspoon, and that's a 1/4 teaspoon, so that's a little bit too much. This is 1/8 of a teaspoon. And we're going to take 1/8 of a teaspoon and we're going to add that to sprinkle it into our gumbo. And a lot of people say, oh, you can't, that's not enough spice there for you. But for us, we actually think that that is a good start. If you have children, depending on what their spice level, you may not want to do this at all. We're looking at our shrimp. Our shrimp is looking good, right? Starting to change color. Our chicken is looking good. Everything looks good, smells good. And we're just a little bit past a half hour. We're going to keep the remaining cayenne for later, should someone else want some more spice to it. We're wiping our scissors down, placing our scissors up. We're starting to do more cleanup. We're starting to dry off our dishes. I don't use a dishwasher, I'm the dishwasher. Because I like to have everything done and put up and away. Our goal is to have someplace about 6 servings. Okay. Our knife back into the block. Back into our boards. Wipe down, place back to wherever you place them. And we're looking pretty good. Now we do have the chicken, which you got to put back up, and we'll do that a little later, because the chicken was put down just to show you if you want to breast the chicken. We put our back cabinet, and we take our little 1/8 teaspoons, put them in there, and we stir and check. Looking very good. Now, if you want to taste it, you're welcome to taste it. I pretty much know that this is great tasting gumbo. Therefore, I focused on really getting everything done, getting everything taken care of, doing cleanup out of the stove and everything else as we wait for the gumbo to be ready. We're at 35 minutes. We think our gumbo actually is doing pretty well. So if you feel you need to wait a little longer, then you can actually wait the full 60 minutes. Okay. So what we're going to start getting ready to serve our gumbo. We're going to, again, and I would actually wait probably the 60 minutes, let the full flavor start settling in, right? But the gumbo right now would be scoop it out. Great tasting, great looking. Right? One serving. We're going to take the rice. Again, depending on which size rice you want, we're going to go to the medium size. We're going to take the rice out. We've already fluffed it, but we'll do a little quick fluff on the rice. Take a nice little light scoop on top. We'd garnish the little scoop. Let's take a look at our gumbo. That's one serving, right? So our goal is we to get 6 servings out of this, right? See how much proteins we have, all that protein in there, right? And we said 2 cups of rice should be adequate for what we're doing. Garnish. Number 2. Look at all that great crab. Scoop for our rice. Garnish. Again, if you want it more cayenne pepper, you might be sprinkling your cayenne pepper on this. Number 4. Now, if you wanted your sauce to be thicker, you would use less water. Number 5. And our final 6. Now, for our 2 cups of rice, we pretty much use most of our rice. There may be another little serving of rice in it. But again, our focus is not to have gumbo with our rice, but rice with our gumbo. 6 servings. How much gumbo do we still have in our pot? I think we have probably about another serving of gumbo in our pot. So if we were to do, and we scrape the bottom of our pot. We end up having a 7 server with still a little more juice. So that's our gumbo kit. What do? We start cleanup. We start washing dishes, getting ready to get rid of the mess. So again, right now it is approximately 45 minutes. So we made our gumbo in approximately 45 minutes. Everything's served, is ready, and we're actually cleaning up. There's very little cleanup to do. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. We'd like you to order your gumbo kit on the website. Call us if there's any questions. Take care and thank you very much.